Hey team, this is Ripper here. You guys doing fantastic today. I'm going to do the video about the Tier 9 ship. I thought was the only thing probably worth looking at. The other ships other guys have reviewed. This is probably the one I thought was interesting. And is it really worth the doubloons for it, though, and the money? It's probably over like $130 plus, something around there, to get the amount of doubloons. But as always, before we get in, like, subscribe button below. Appreciate all the supporters of the channel. If you see value what we're doing here today, smash those buttons, and thanks for stopping by, and I appreciate your support. So, what is this ship? This is that BA Tier 9 BA. I can't even pronounce this thing. Utnapishtims. Shittims. What a funny name. Anyways, this is what it looks like. If you don't know what it is, it's focused on the what is that? Tier 9 Havre, whatever. The 8 guns in front, like Jean Bart kind of style. There's the bread and butter right there. The guns. So let me snapshot that bad boy. Look at that. I mean, that would be badass if we had all these guns on all these other ships. But that's the gimmick, really. The gimmick of this thing is the secondaries. Now, is it really worth it? Let's take a look. I did the IFHE and the regular kind of shots to take a look at what it does. If you don't like the skin, you can actually go to custom ships and disable blue archive. And there you go. That's what it looks like. So it's Le Havre. So if you want to see it that way, there's Le Havre. That's what it looks like. It's got the 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 on one side, and then 10 on the other side if you get them all. The gimmick is the F funny button that basically, right here, you can see funny button, heavy secondary barrage, decreasing the reload time to 70%, dispersion is minus 60%, and secondary armor pen. The armor pen is what it gets it, the plus 40%. So if you do the quick math, 40% when you add it to the base is, as you can see, here's the base, is 23 millimeters. When you add on the 40% to that, it becomes 32. I did IFHE, and you get it up to 40 mils, so you decide whether or not that's decent for you. I found that it is not worth it for IFHE. I think the point could be spent better elsewhere, and the majority of times I'm not really pinning a lot of the battleships armors like are up to 50 millimeter range anyways. And when the games I'm playing, you're not getting in within secondary range and randoms. Ranked, you're not really doing much either. Unbreakable line, yeah, you get closer, but the closest you'll get to anything with 38 mil pin, you're not going to survive it, because the why I'll tell you in a minute. The armor's just not there to survive. So here's I played both. I like the main battery reload better. Why? Is because if I did the reload on the secondaries, if I take Oxmod 2, you get amazing secondary reload, like 1 point something seconds, and it's like machine guns, right? However, to get that secondary reload, you have to be able to use the funny button, which in order to charge it, you can see right there it says hit enemy ships with main battery shells, and it charges up to 10%. So essentially you got to get 10 hits to get to the 100%, right? But the reload is so long though. If without the reload, it's up to 30 seconds. With this reload, you get it down to, as you see, 26.4. I find that this is a lot better to charge it up faster to even use the damn things in the first place, right? And then the other problem, like I said, was the armor. Let's take a look at the armor. So again, what did we talk about? You build for main battery reload so you can get to charge it up faster. Basically, you got to get more shots downrange to charge up the funny button faster. And then to use the funny button, you have to expose all this broadside. You have to literally, to get all 10 guns to get the reloads rate, the DPM rates, you pretty much have to get almost full broadside or this kind of angle right about here. This is what it would look like from the opposing enemy team. And look at all that broadside and the exposing armor. Because to get that back turret right here, as you can see, these two back turrets, you got to get pretty much this kind of angle right here. Now, what does that look like armor-wise? Holy crap! Look at all that freeboard and billboard side. You get 32 mil armor on the top side, which is nothing. Anything can pin that. You're pretty much getting melted. And then, of course, look at the size of the superstructure right here. Not really my liking right there. This 32 mil HE will get you the massive armor pins. Everything gets you, just plows right into you right here. 190 millimeter. I mean, you're essentially showing that much Citadel right there, and you get blasted right there, just right in this section right here. And of course, 25 millimeters, not even 32. 25 millimeter gets overmatched by almost a lot of things, and boom, you go straight into that Citadel area. So you nosing in, because this is how you would play it. You would basically nose in for the first few minutes to charge up the funny button, right? So you're taking all this damage right there. And then hopefully nobody knows how to aim. But if they know how to aim, boom, it goes right through, and you're getting blasted. And then, of course, you're getting melted by all this, armor, light armor, 32, 50, 16 from all HE and everything. It's hard to survive. So you got to play it really carefully, if you want to call it that. And then, of course, in order to get the full secondaries I'm going to show you in the videos, you got to expose all this broadside right here. And that's why the best thing I found was just the angle, rather than I've seen guys like turn away and have just the back turrets fire like this from a rear aspect view. But no, guess what? In order to do that, you have to turn all the way around and show all this billboard right here. So again, is that really worth it to you? Me personally, I don't think it's worth the money. I don't see any good games in randoms with it. I don't see any really good games in ranked in it. Maybe onesie twosie here and there, because you're trying so hard to use the secondaries that I don't feel like it's worth it. You're trying so hard just to use a gimmick, and I don't know if that's really worth the $130. I mean, if the gimmick was something like a small end radar and all this other crap, maybe, or smoke, but you're exposing yourself to so much hate and fire that it really doesn't seem that you're getting your money's worth in a sense. So I don't know. You guys let me know. I don't think it's worth it, honestly. I used my proceeds from the channel to purchase this. This is the only purchase I will make for the year, just to kind of review it. I thought it probably was interesting to look at and kind of funny with a gimmick on a funny button on a secondary key, which is pretty interesting. So let's take a look at the video and gameplay to see actually why I don't think this is worth it. But maybe you think if you want to spend that much money, have at it. And again, it's in the armory. I'll show you how much it's worth. Okay, so it's in this blue archive event. If you want to take a look at it, blue archive right here, you scroll down and you find it right there. The Admiral Pack, 34,000, 3 days, recording this video, minus 20%. Until then, it goes up to 43,000. So I was like, you know what? Let's take the discount right here. 34,450 is essentially, if you had nothing, no doubloons at all, it would literally cost you about $130 plus. So I'll show you what it looks like. Let's say we purchased doubloons, right? Literally, you would buy $100 worth right here, 25,000, plus another 34 and change here, so about $30. So it's about $130 plus if you have to add a little bit more to that. I don't want to do public math here. Oh well, hell with it. Let's just do the math. What is it? 25,000 plus 7,500 is 32,500. So you're short there, you see? So in order to get to that 34, let's just call it 35, you have to basically buy another 2,500, which essentially is $10. So it's about $140. Let's just round it up to that. So about $140. I had extra doubloons, so I can spend $130, but it's approximately around $140. So is it really worth it for $140? You let me know. Let's take a look at the gameplay. All right, first couple of games with Le Havre here. We'll take a look at it. This is Unbreakable Line because why? I tried it in randoms and maybe a little bit of ranked, and you just couldn't get in. Maybe ranked you can get in, but you just can't get in range to use the funny button key anyways in randoms. There's just so much passive meta that even if you try to push in, you're going to get melted down and not get in range, or you'll charge up the funny button, but then you have to expose so much broadside, as you're going to see in the video here. And like I said, I just don't think it's worth it. And in the randoms kind of world, ranked, maybe it's just too conditional and situational. Unbreakable Line, actually had fun times in it, so I wouldn't argue there, but we'll take a look at it. Just going into the map here, what you kind of do is you kind of play like Jean Bart at first, kind of that nose-in gunplay of the French 8-tier kind of mentality, similar maybe to like Rhode Island as well, where you got an 8-turret gun system in front. So you kind of just nose in, look, and then shoot, and then charge up. Notice how I've already charged up the funny button key already with the first salvo. As you can see, the reload rate is a lot better with the main battery rather than taking 30 seconds for the primary, the secondary focus. So look at that right there. Great broadside shots right there. There's the funny button key. Now again, here's the problem though. You can't really use it because why? A lot of the turrets in the back here, as you can see, are not of the angle that are required to do that. And I might throw up a screenshot to show what kind of angles to get a better visualization of what it looks like. But again, you can't really use it. So the gimmick is like kind of hindered. If it was if you wanted a secondary focus ship, just get a Schlieffen or a Libertad to have fun with that. This is a weird kind of a gimmick to get you to spend money. So I really don't know. I mean, it seems powerful. Now here's how I play it. I usually just go at this angle right here, and this is the angle that exposes so much. And look, you just get melted like crazy from this angle right here, and it's just not survivable. So yeah, there's kind of the gameplay right there. You die pretty quickly. Even if you want to try to use it, you're just not able to tank. Of course, my team is in the back right there. You can't really do much. So we're going to go ahead and push back into this. Let's see. I'll get back into that position again. Yeah, you charge it up at there, shooting those long-range shots. Kind of boring gameplay here. All right, another broadside shot there on the Lepanto. Look, charges up really quick. So you can charge it up. Now, here's the question. How do you going to get to use this thing? Again, that's the gimmick. This is what the ship is all about, right? Well, let's try it out. So this is kind of the angle right here. Notice that back turret. I wait for it to start shooting. And then now there it is, right there. This angle right here. Now you can understand where the angle is required to shoot this thing at. And now we're just going to see what it does. So it's about a 50-second. It lasts for about 50-something seconds, right? Yeah, 50 seconds. It pins now 32 mil. So I can't pull up the stats on it, but it's 32 millimeters. I researched it. And then basically, look, you can just, that's all you can really do is pin superstructure, maybe get some fire started, and that's pretty much the gimmick. And yeah, you still got horrific angles. The guns don't really do much at this angle. Look at that. The guns were like crap. You basically have to shoot broadside targets. You really can't nose too much. Yay, we get a secondary kill. Yay, whoop-de-doo. Now, I do notice is the secondaries melt destroyers. I'm telling you, the accuracy just goes so ridiculously close down to small dispersion levels that it just, any destroyer caught in it for that 50 seconds just gets melted right there. So again, we go back into the nose-in, kind of like slim profile mode right here, if you want to call it that. And now we charge up the funny button key again. And that's pretty much it. You're just rinsing and repeating. You're kind of just nosing in. You really can't go in and cap it or anything because you just get melted down. Your armor's not sufficient. 25 millimeter armor, nose, like I said. 32 mil banked around the top edges, sides. So you're going to get melted and taken out by almost everything. So you pretty much got to just nose in and mitigate as much damage shots as you can. Look, we charged up the funny button key again. And now we're getting focused down again because, well, this one's a bad example. My team's just in the back. I mean, I'm the only one tanking right here. Take a torpedo. Yeah, so let's see what the funny button key does. I'm just going to show full broadside and see how long you last. So you really don't last long enough to actually use the funny button key too much, and you got to mitigate damage. So even if I turn back around to expose the back turrets, you really can't do much because you're just going to get melted before you can even expose the back turret and so forth. And I have another game where I actually play a lot more conservative in that. Okay, so we're going to go scroll up here. We're speeding forward. See who can we attack right here. It's 119,000 damage, so you get sufficient amount of damage. It's not bad. It's a damage dealer, but it's not the damage that you're looking for that you want to, oh, I want secondaries. This is why you bought the ship or why you got the balloons for it. I don't know. It's just really not there, in my personal opinion. Again, if this is the kind of gameplay you enjoy, absolutely go for it. I mean, for me personally, this is my opinion. Again, caveat, in my opinion, I don't think it's really worth it for that amount of doubloons to do this kind of gameplay. I mean, I could do this in the Schlieffen, Libertad, Napoli. I could do so much better things. And this is a cruiser, by the way. It's not even a battleship. So you're a cruiser level trying to play like this. It's just, I don't know. There it is. You can get kills here and there, just like the kind of finishing moves. I feel like this is kind of a finishing move kind of ship. You can't really go in and tank and just go in outright. Now, here's a good example of going against Jaeger. Jaeger, one of the most difficult things to shoot at, really, right? So we're going to do secondary focus here. Pop the F key, funny button, and just watch what it does to the destroyers. This is what the bread and butter possibly could be, which is just when you get a destroyer exposed and spotted, boom, you just melt them like crazy. In randoms, very rare to get open water destroyers and getting close enough to get them. And if they're spotted by radar or something, there it is. Just killed the Jaeger just like that. Melted him like it was nothing. That's the bread and butter if you get one caught in the open within your web at 50 seconds. The range is 12 kilometers, so it's not bad. Pretty standard secondary range. I wish they would make these all standard on cruisers because why? You don't see cruisers really focusing on secondaries anymore. Back in the day, we used to, where we actually build for secondaries on cruisers. Now, finally, they brought back the gimmick where you can build in for the commander build, but it's getting there. I mean, maybe this is why they're trying to bring back secondaries in the cruiser role. We'll see. I don't know, but tell me what you think so far in the comments below. I mean, is this worth it in your personal opinion? Look at this. Schroeder right here. Probably a comparable match right here. Schroeder's another secondary focus kind of cruiser-like mentality. Let's see what we can do on it. He's angling in like a smart person, doing great still. The guns are pretty decent. It takes forever to charge this damn thing up, as you can see right there. Notice if I had a 30-second reload on the guns, it'd be horrendously long to charge this thing up. So you're kind of just risking everything just to charge up, and it takes forever. You're so frustrating. You're like, oh my god, why is a cruiser reload so long right here? Probably going to delete him after this shot right here. There's deleting, and we don't even get the funny button key because we lost one of our turrets. So that's the downside. You can't really, again, go in and tank like this. 4 kills, 175,000 damage. Not bad, but my team is just not doing anything. I don't know. You even face potatoes in Unbreakable line sometimes. So the game is pretty much over right there. That's the first game that I tried it out. What do you think? Do you think that you could use it like that? Not bad, 176,000 damage, 4 kills. Let's take a look at the stats for that. Look at top of the team right there. I did my best. Yeah, the secondary damage, maybe in randoms this is good, but for like ranked and Unbreakable line, it's just not the same output as I get with a Schlieffen, Libertad, or some other secondary focused cruiser like a Napoli, maybe a Michelangelo, something like that. So let's take a look at one more video and see how it goes. Okay, one more game, this time in Land of Fire. Let's take a look at it, how we would play this. Essentially, race right in, go straight in, find that edge. And this is kind of how I play it. I find this works a lot better than rushing into your death. You kind of go, kind of like that Druid mentality gameplay where you're kind of nosing in, using front gun turrets only, and just seeing what kind of damage you can do with AP. You know, it's very, very powerful. I think I whiffed this shot. Yeah, for some reason the lock-on just did not get it, and I whipped the entire shot right there. Holy crap. I'm embarrassed right there. But anyways, you kind of just, again, nose in and just look at what kind of tanking you can do in this thing. Like I said, engine boost lasts a great long time. Hydro, standard 5 kilometers, and that's all you get in the heal. So really just a standard kind of cruiser mentality here, and let's see what we can do. You know, Kitakaze goes down. Great job there on the GK. Switching to HE, it pins great. HE damage-wise, like 55mm armor pin, so not bad for this tier. So now we've got a, let's see here, Schlieffen coming in broadside. Now, again, one more shot, and if I get all 8 on here, I'm definitely going to charge up this funny button. So let's take a look at what this do. This Libertad is showing a lot more broadside. Let's take a look at the broadside shot of a Libertad. It does very good against Battleship, so not bad. Still doing a good thing. Look at that, 21,000 damage. Very good. Charging up the F funny button key now in reverse. And now we're going to see what can we do with this funny button. All right, 12 kilometers, a great range, especially when everybody's pushing. So let's take a look. See, this is the angle right here. I wait for that back turret. Look at this back turret here. Once it starts turning and firing, that's the angle. Waiting. There it is, right there. This is that angle you're showing. So you determine if this is right angle for you. Obviously, I'm getting blapped from somebody over here in the distance. Probably the Libertad that just died. Or some other guy, whoever is coming back into the game. Probably the Napoli, the Brest, or something. Or maybe the Schlieffen. So look at that. So there's the damage reload rate. Great reload rate, not bad. It's shooting long range, a lot of secondary, great accuracy. Getting a lot of that secondary focus on the superstructure area. So you're getting a lot of chip damage right there. You're starting a lot of fire, so it's a great fire starter. So again, even with the slot 6 where you focus on secondaries, the reload rate's awesome, but again, damage output doesn't really improve all that much. So I don't know if it's really worth it. I would rather have the faster reload on the main gun so you charge it up faster. Because if I can't charge it up, I can't even use it anyways, right? So that's what the recommended build was from Wargaming, and again, I just went with the recommended build, and obviously it does pay off in that regard. Now again, this is the kind of gameplay you got to do, is just nose in right here with low armor, front, and let's see what can we really do. Let's see what they end up doing here. We got everybody looking at us. Concealment's not. Concealment's right under the secondary. So as soon as you get spotted, you're in secondary range. But again, if nobody's spotting for you, then it really doesn't matter anyways. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. We got a Brest showing somewhat of a angle here. So let's take a shot. Let's see what the AP shells do. Yeah, not bad. That's a light armor anyways. So we're going to go back up. We got the Libertad on our left that just died, so now we got to contend with that. Oh, yay, we got an Awami showing up to the party to help us out. Let's see here. Who's the more broadside person? Again, you're really just looking for broadsides in this ship with 8 guns in front. You're kind of just treating it like, again, a Druid. Oh, man, that Napoli shut up just at the right time. We're getting melted like crazy here with the secondaries of the Libertad. So here we go. Let's take a look at what it can do. Guns blazing on both sides. The secondary turrets do survive decently, so I've noticed they've kind of played or programmed it in to survive, at least so you could use the gimmick. That's not bad. Okay, look at this angle. Still, the back turrets are not firing, and I'm dead right there. So, not the greatest right there. Looks like we're losing, right? I mean, they are coming in real hot and heavy here. So let's see if we can focus on this Libertad. We seem to be getting a lot of Libertads. Like I said, I would rather you just take the Libertad and just melt and rock and roll with the secondaries on that thing. I think it'd be worth it, and it's free. You can grind up the Libertad line. You don't have to really buy anything, honestly, and I think so, right? And really, the commander on it is pretty broken and overpowered. So, but with the Havre, spend $140. I mean, what are you getting? I mean, would you rather have the Libertad over there with way better secondaries, or than the Havre with the funny button key secondary? I don't know. So here we go. We got the funny button charged up again. Let's take a look at what we can do. I'm not exposing broadside to this monstrosity because I don't think it'll pay off. Let's see here. Okay, now that his damage is, health is a lot lower. Let me try it now. Let's see. I'm a full health, almost full health. He's pretty much almost half health. So we got a set. Ooh, full broadside shot with the AP right there. Look at that. We get a Citadel. Finally, I see a Citadel on the Libertad. And there it is. Funny button key activated. Okay, let's take a look at the damage output that I'm doing to him, that he's doing to me. Getting a lot of non-pins right there. Nothing's happening. I don't see any numbers taken up. So he's got too much armor at these ranges, and it's like I said, close range is hard because but we just kill him with the main guns anyways. Like I said, the secondaries will auto aim at the superstructure area. And if you're in that close, the angles are not like plunging fire, so you're pretty much hitting the full bore or broadside of those heavy armor. So very, very difficult to pin anything anyways with 32 mil pin on those little guns. All right, full broadside Napoli right there. Nice shot. There it is. It's a very good, very easy to shoot, accurate main battery guns. So you can charge up the funny button key pretty darn quickly. Look, I got, especially with the cruiser reload that is within detectability right here, like I talked about. What is this called? Top grade gunner. With that in, you get an extra 8%, right? 8%, yeah, 8%. So about a 23-second reload. Not bad for a cruiser. It could be better. This is kind of like Petro, Petro, and maybe Stalingrad kind of reloads. Not bad. Okay, here we go. We got the secondaries here on the breast. Secondary guns are not. I'm sorry, funny button is not charged up yet. We've got a Libertad getting free shots from us on the other side. I'm just trying to get to this island and get to cover. My God. You just got to fight your way to get to cover here. So I'm going to hold the center, not only cap both things, but I'm going to hold as well. That's why I love the Unbreakable line. Great objective play. And boom, he goes down. Look, we're getting really great shots. I'm telling you, these broadside shots are amazing. Now watch the Kitakaze here. We're going to put on the F funny button key, and this is what it does. It just melts destroyers. This is a really, really great destroyer hunter killer. In the sense of just, if I get at least some kind of spotting, I mean, I'm just going to melt the crap out of the Kitakaze here. With nice broad shot on the Schlieffen. 32,000. Whoa, my gosh. We're getting nice Citadel shots right here. And look at that destroyer gameplay right there. Yeah, Kitakaze. Oh, my God. 1,000 damage on the Kitakaze. 1,000 damage is a lot. And there he goes. He gets melted again. I mean, very, very good destroyer killer. Unfortunately, we don't back up fast enough in order to get out of the damage of the front guns. We're look at capping both spots right there. This is a great spot for just a cruiser player. Great spot right here. And we dodged the torpedoes. I just damage con real quick just to save as much HP as I can. I'm going to need it. See, now once the funny button goes away, the secondaries are just kind of average secondaries. I mean, 4 to 5 second reloads with, what, 26 mil pen? It's just like another average whatever. Why don't they just bake it in as normal? I don't know why they have to make us charge and do all these crazy stuff. It's not like I can survive much in the Havre. Look at my health point, 39.57. Not the greatest right here. So we pretty much just YOLO it in. We cap one spot. Can I cap this last spot in 6 seconds? Nope, I cannot. I get reset too fast. And yeah, here's a kind of bow in tanking armor. Oh God, I'm actually surviving. Missouri shot right there. 530, and we're dead. And actually, we pull a comeback. Look at this, 980 points. We just need one more kill, and we actually win this game. Holy crap. We actually, just by us nosing in right there, just playing at the Havre like a Jean Bart, you really can change the nature of the game here. And let's see what the outcome. We win. Holy crap. Somebody killed the Libertad just in time. Way to go, Paolo Emilio. And we win that game. What a comeback. All because we were just tanking in the middle there and capped both spots and prevented it. And wow, look at all that money here. 201,000 damage, a million coin. 5 kills, Citadel 227. Holy cow, did we not make number one? Oh, we were number one in that. We did a lot of work. Oh, well. Yeah, we tanked 3.3 million damage and 146,000 damage on the main guns. The secondary guns, still not the greatest with fires right there. Is about, what, 40,000, 50,000-ish damage? 53,000 roughly. I don't know if it's really that worth it. Like I said, you're paying $140 for this kind of damage. I think they could have did a better job. Just make it not a funny button key, make it baked into the whole thing. It maybe be worth it then, right? So that's my thoughts on the video. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it's worth $140 of doubloons? What would you do with this ship? Is it worth it? Is it playable? Is it viable? Me personally, I would not. Knowing what I know now, I would not. I would ask for a refund. I don't think that the $140 is worth it of doubloons, but it's okay. They're coming with an event in August that you can grind out more doubloons and steal that way if you guys want to play it. But hopefully I'll get them back just by playing the event every once in a day. But as always, thank you guys for supporting the channel. Thanks for stopping by, listening to me talk, having a blast, sharing the day with me. And again, if you see me out there, make sure you say hello. I'm a friendly guy, and I want to make it a better place and a better community, and have fun shooting ships, sailing ships, and having a blast learning something, okay? You guys take care. Until next time, take care. Cheers.